Hey there. So this is my third time trying to do this recording tonight. So bear with me, I'm a little tired. I'm going to cover unit analysis through example 7. I had to move it to a PowerPoint so that I could write on that. I tried using a document camera, but to no avail. You don't care. Let's just get through it. All right, let me get to, there we go. How should you answer any problem in this class? Well, 3 probably main things. The first is you should always round to the proper number, but that's kind of a mathematical given. The main things for my class, however, for problem solving is you should always be able to communicate your understanding of the problem. And to do that, I expect you to answer in complete sentences. So complete sentences, which I am not writing because it is really hard to write with this darn thing. Complete sentences. And the other thing is correct units. And units would just be, well, we've already discussed units, so this is not new to you. Okay, let's move on. Example, length. What are the common units for length? And we're talking about the United States units of measurement. So for length, we have the inch, we have the foot, the yard, and the mile. You do have the abbreviations on your useful conversions, but for inch, it's IN, foot, it's FT, yard is YD, and mile is MI. Okay. How many inches are in 3.5 feet? Well, we need to use our useful conversions for this so that we can do that. So let's go. We're going to have, we're going from feet to inches. So feet to inches. Well, there's 12 inches in 1 foot. You can find that on your useful conversions. So we're going to start with what they give us, and they give us 3.5 feet. So I'm going to start with 3.5 feet. And I know many of you don't like fractions, so I'm just going to switch this to a decimal by using your calculator, and 1 divided by 2 equals. So you're going to get 0.5. You're going to add that to the whole number of 3, and you're going to get 3.5. And keep your feet because that's the unit you're going to need to help you do your conversion. So now we can convert from feet to inches. All right. Feet is currently in my numerator. If you think of the 3.5 feet over 1. So if I have feet in my numerator, I need feet in my denominator. And if you understand that, you'll do well in this class. Wherever the unit is that you need to get rid of, you need to make sure whenever you're doing your conversion, that you put it in the opposite place that it is. Okay. So if feet's in your numerator, in order to get rid of it, you need to make sure in your conversion, you put feet in your denominator. And we want to end up with inches. Just plug and chug, take the numbers that we have right here, put in 12 and 1, multiply straight across, always. There's no cross multiplication in this class, don't even try it, okay? So whenever you multiply straight across, your feet are gone, and it's 3.5 times 12, and that's 42 inches. All right. So we're done. The next thing we have to do is to write it in a complete sentence. We've already taken care of the unit. Now we need to put it in a sentence. And for sentence form, I would say there are, let's see if I can do this. There are 42 inches in, I'll go ahead and write inches, in 3.5 feet. Okay. Typically it'd be nice if you could just put a square around it, but this pen does not always work nice for me. Okay, did great. Let's go to the next one. Example 2. Nat, an interior decorator, needs border trim for a home she's wallpapering. She needs 15 feet of border trim. Oh gosh, darn it. Hold on, I hit it wrong. It's not the best. All right, so she needs 15 feet of border trim right here for the living room. She needs 30 feet of border trim for the bedroom. And she needs 26 feet of border trim for the dining room. So, and then it asks you how many yards border trim does she need? Well, we can't figure that out until we find out the total amount of border trim she needs. And to do that, you have to add all three numbers to know the total amount of border trim she needs. So that's going to be 15 feet plus 30 feet plus 26 feet. All right, you need to add those up. You get 71 feet. Okay, now we can do our conversion. In order to do the conversion from feet to, they're looking for yards, we need to use our useful conversion chart, and we're going feet to yards, and there are 3 feet and 1 yard. So we'll start with the 71 feet that we have and convert. Feet is currently in the numerator, so therefore it has to go to the opposite, and so it has to go to the denominator, so we can cancel those suckers out, and we want yards to be our answer. So now we just plug in our numbers, 1 and 3, multiplying straight across, feet are gone. 71 times 1 is 71, divided by, well, underneath the 71 is a 1, 1 times 3 is 3, and this is yards. Okay. Now you're going to whip out your calculators, and you're going to type in 71 divided by 3. And when you do that, you get 23.6 continuous. So that's 23.6 continuous yards, or say 23.67. I don't really care, 23.7. It doesn't matter, but what does matter here is this is where the problem solving takes place. So if you go to the store to buy border trim, you can't buy 2/3 of a yard of border trim, which is what the 0.6 is equivalent to. So you're going to have to round. Now, if you round down to 23, you won't have enough border trim to do all 3 of your rooms. But if you round to 24 yards, you will have enough trim, border trim, to cover all 3 of the rooms, and even a little bit extra for mistakes, which inevitably happen. Okay, so when you're writing your answer, and you don't have to use her name, you can just say she needs or whatever, but I always look at the question, how many yards of border trim does Nat need? And I can take that sentence and flip it around and say, well, Nat needs 24 yards of border trim. And that answers the question. So Nat needs 24 yards of border trim. So I'm going to apologize to y'all right now because it's going to be like this the entire semester. It just makes me crazy, but I'll do my best. All right, now you can complete the You Try 2.1, which is at the page 11 of your study guide notes. Okay, and please do that before you come back to class, because we'll discuss it, and I'll potentially have one of you discuss it to let me know what you did. So, only way to learn. If you make a mistake, it's not a big deal. You can't learn unless you make mistakes, and we all make mistakes. All right, so let's talk about weight. Just a second while I flip my pages around. All right, we're going to talk about what is the common US units for weight. All right. Well, we've got grams, ounces, pounds, and tons. So grams, ounces, pounds, and tons. For the abbreviations for those, grams is just G, ounces is OZ, pounds is LB, and tons is a capital T. The next question I asked you, even though it wasn't on the guide, is how is weight measured? So let's see if I can write this. How is weight measured? All right, well, we came up with scale. Weight is measured by scales. So you could use a food scale to use for grams or ounces and even pounds, but it'll come to the point where you'll have to use a scale that you step up on for pounds. And then for tons, you're going to need a what? There's dock scales that they have. There's ones you can drive on at the dump. So all sorts of different types of scales. All right, let's move on. Example 3, how many ounces are in 2 1/4 pounds? Okay, we're going from pounds to ounces. So our unit conversion for that, for our useful conversions, is there's 16 ounces in 1 pound. Okay, and that's what we're going to use. All right, so we're going to start with what they give us, which is 2 1/4 pounds. Change that to a decimal. So 1 divided by 4 equals is 0.25. Add 2 to that, and you get 2.25. And oh, I forgot to write pounds. Pounds. Can't have the unit. You can't do a unit conversion without a unit. So now we're going to convert. All right, pounds is in our numerator, so we need pounds in our denominator. And ounces is our ultimate goal, so that goes in our numerator. 16 ounces in 1 pound, we're golden. Multiplying straight across, pounds are gone. We're left with ounces, perfect. So now 2.25 times 16 is 36. And that's ounces. All right, now we just need to put it in sentence form. The question was how many ounces are in 2 1/4 pound? So there are 36. There are 36 ounces in 2 1/4 pounds. Done. Put a line around it. Okay. Example 4, a municipal trash facility allows one person to throw away a maximum of 30 pounds of trash per week. Last week, 140 people threw away the maximum allowable trash. So each of those 140 people threw away 30 pounds of trash. This is what you need to think about when you're reading this. So you're going to multiply those two numbers to find the total amount of trash in pounds that they threw away. Then we're going to take that and answer the question, how many tons of trash did this equal? So we'll take the pounds and convert it to tons. To do that, we're going to need our useful conversion chart, and we need to know that there are 2,000 pounds in 1 ton. So I'll put that up here. 2,000 pounds equals 1 ton. All right, so let's find out how much total poundage of trash there was for these 140 people. So it's 140 people threw away 30 pounds of trash each. And that gives us a total of 4,200 pounds. 4,200, pounds of trash last week. So the question is, how many tons is this? So when you take that 4,200 pounds and convert it to tons. Pounds is currently in the numerator, so therefore we need pounds in the denominator, so they'll cancel out. And we need tons in the numerator because that's what our ultimate goal is. And now we just plug the numbers in. So 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. Multiplying straight across, pounds are gone. 4,200 times 1 is 4,200 divided by 2,000. And this is tons. Whip out the calculator. 4,200 divided by 2,000 is 2.1 tons. All right. All we have to do now is write our sentence. The question was, how many tons of trash did this equal? Well, you could just say this equaled 2.1 tons of trash. That would be totally cool. Or you could say, which is what I do, it doesn't have to be the same. The 140 people, because that's a little bit more impactful, threw away 2.1 tons of trash. And you can even keep going and say last week. Okay, so that's my answer. Example 5. Post office charges 58 cents, and that's the current rate, to mail something that weighs an ounce or less. The charge for each additional ounce after that, or a fraction of an ounce, is 20 cents for each one. At this rate, how much will it cost for Nat to mail a package that weighs 2 pounds, 3 ounces? Okay, the first thing we need to do is find out the total of what? Well, the rates for charging are not in pounds, they're in ounces. So therefore, we need to know the total ounces of Nat's package. Okay, so we're going to start off with the 2 pounds, 3 ounces, because that's the weight that she has. So 2 pounds plus 3 ounces. We also are going to need a conversion here. We're going to need, if we're going from pounds to ounces, we need to use our useful conversion chart and know that there's 16 ounces is equal to 1 pound. Okay, I'm going to rewrite the 2 pounds, 3 ounces so that I can convert. So 2 pounds, that's what it's going to be converting. But I bring down the 3 ounces just to make sure I don't forget it, because people inevitably do. All right. So 2 pounds, I've got pounds in my numerator. So I need pounds in my denominator. And I need ounces in my numerator. Plug in my numbers, multiplying straight across. 2 pounds times, oh, pounds are gone. So 2 times 16 is 32 ounces. But we have our plus 3 ounces. And so that gives us 35 ounces. So that's how much her package weighs that she's wanting to mail. Now we know the first ounce is going to be 58 cents. So we could subtract 1 ounce and know that that is 58 cents. All right. So that means that she still has 34 ounces to pay for from that package. And we know that each one of those ounces is going to cost her 20 cents, because that's what it says right here. Okay. So we need to find out what the total is going to be for that. So we have to take that 34 ounces and multiply by 20 cents to get the total. And when you do that, you get $6.80. So you take in your calculator, you would put 34 times 0.2, that's 20 cents per ounce. So the ounces go away. And so that means you're going to pay $6.80 for the rest of the package. For the total package of 35 ounces, you have to add the two numbers together. Okay. And so that's 8, 13, here's the one says $7.38 is the total she'll have to pay for her 35 ounce package. The question is, how much will it cost Nat to mail a package that weighs 2 pounds, 3 ounces? Well, it will cost Nat $7, I guess you could just use that, and 38 cents to mail a package that weighs 2 pounds, 3 ounces. All right. Doesn't look pretty, but it's accurate. Okay, let's move to the next one. Oh, well, now you can complete you try 2.2. So at this point, you should be able to complete you try 2.1 and 2.2. If you cannot, let's discuss it in class the next time we meet. All right, capacity. What is the definition of capacity? Okay. Well, it's the amount of something that can hold. It's the amount that something can hold, or something that it contains, or it's the amount something can produce. So let's just write that. Anytime you're writing a definition, make sure you put it in your words to where you understand it. Because the one in the book, You can look at it. If it makes more sense to you, that's great. But I try to simplify things a little bit to where it makes sense and it's more in the language that we use on an everyday basis, unless it's something we have to definitely learn specifically. But this will help us, I think. It's the capacity is the amount something can hold, contain, or produce. That is an O. There we go. Okay. What are the common United States units for capacity? Note that a fluid ounce is different from the ounce we discussed previously for weight, because that was just OZ. For fluid ounce, which is apparently one of the units for capacity, is fluid ounce, also written FLOZ. Okay, those are separated, FL space OZ. The next thing is cup, pint, quart, gallon, keep going here, cubic feet, acre. Actually, would acre be capacity? It's area. Something to think about. Tablespoon, teaspoon, all of those are for capacity. How is it measured? Well, you can use volume. So if you're using volume, acre can't work because acre is a square. So it's like a square feet. So volume, or measuring devices. That was brought up in the class. So measuring cups, tablespoons, things like that, measuring devices. All right. Example 6, determine the number of pints in 2 3/4 gallons. All righty, we're getting close. I'm only going to example 7 in this lecture, and then we'll pick up the metric system in the next one. Otherwise, it gets obnoxious. Okay. Number of pints in 2 3/4 gallons. Well, if you're looking at your useful conversions, we don't have a way to get straight from gallons to pints. Pardon me, it's late. But we can get from gallons to quarts and quarts to pints. So let's write those two conversions down and we'll use this to help us get there. All right, so we're going from gallons to quarts. There's 4 quarts in a gallon. And then we're going to go from quart to pint. And there's 2 pints and 1 quart. And that'll do it for us. All right, so we're going to start with what they're giving us, which is 2 3/4 gallons. And let's go ahead and switch that from a fraction to a decimal. 3 divided by 4 in your calculator, and then add to it, so that'll be 2.75. All right, I'm going to run out of space here, so I'm going to come down here. 2.75 gallons. Now let's do our conversions. All right, we have gallon currently in the numerator, so we need gallon in our denominator. And the only way to get from gallons to pints is to hit the quarts. So gallon to quart. And then from quart, because quart's in the numerator, we need it in the denominator to get rid of it, to pint, what we actually want. There are 4 quarts in 1 gallon and 2 pints in 1 quart. All right, let's multiply straight across. When we do that, gallons are gone and quarts are gone. We're left with pints, golden. So 2.75 times 4 times 2 is going to give us what? I don't even know anymore. 22, I think it was. 22 pints. All right, so now all we have to do is write the sentence. Determine the number of pints in 2 3/4. There are 22 pints. There are 22 pints. And 2, it becomes comical after a while, 2 3/4 gallons. And I've changed the tips on my pen, so I don't know what's going on. All right, so there's our answer for that. Example 7. Moon Pie is making lemonade to bring to the beach. They have 2 containers. One holds a gallon, so we need to know that, and the other holds 2 quarts. If Moon Pie fills both containers, how many cups of lemonade will they have? Okay, so we have one gallon and 2 quarts. All right, I'm going to write that so we know what we're dealing with. And I know we're heading to cups. We don't have a way to get directly from either one of those directly to cups. So we're going to have to look at our useful conversions and come up with a couple different things. What we had in the last one was 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts. Then we also know that there are 1 quart has 2 pints, and then 1 pint has 2 cups. So that's how we're going to get there. There's several ways you can do this. You could take each one of those and take them down to a cup. Totally fine, but I feel like it's a little bit more work. If you're more comfortable with that, please do it. It's totally right. I'm good. As long as I can follow your logic, you don't have to do things the way I do. I understand this has already been learned before. Okay, so I'm going to say there's 1 gallon. I'm going to take them both to quarts, and then from quarts, once I've added them together, then I'm going to take them to cups. So I'm going to start with the 1 gallon and switch that sucker to a quart. And then I'm going to add the 2 quarts to that and then go to cups with all of it. So 1 gallon, and I'm switching it to quarts. So I need gallons down below and quarts up top. 4 quarts, 1 gallon. Multiplying straight across, gallons are gone. 1 times 4 is 4, divided by 1 is 4. So that's 4 quarts plus 2 quarts is 6 quarts. So now we have a total of 6 quarts, which is both of those containers, the 1 gallon and the 2 quarts put together, comes out to 6 quarts in all. Okay, so now we're going to take that 6 quarts and convert it to cups. It's going to take 2 times. Well, let's see here. We have to go from quarts to pints, and then we have to go from pints to cups. So we have to go 2 times. All right, we've got quarts currently in the numerator. We need it gone. So it has to go down here in the denominator, and we're going to go to pints for that one. Then, since we have pints in the numerator, we need it gone. So it has to go in the denominator, and we want to end up with cups. All right, now that we've got that set up, we can just plug in our numbers. There are 2 pints in 1 quart and 2 cups in 1 pint. Multiplying straight across, quarts are gone, pints are gone. 6 times 2 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24, and that's all divided by 1. So that's 24 cups in all for the 1 gallon and the 2 quart containers together. So let's answer the question now. How many cups of lemonade will they have? They will have, I'm going to go simple here, getting toast. They will have 24 cups. All right, period. It's a sentence. It answers the question. You could say Moon Pie will have 24 cups of lemonade. That's fine too. All right, moving on. All right, that was it for me. You're going to complete the You Try 2.3 before coming back to class. So now you know you need to do the 2.1, 2.2, and 2.3 before returning to class for our next class. Okay, if you have any questions or you're struggling with it, let's discuss it during class or during office hours, and we'll talk soon. Thanks for sticking with me. Where is my